There are 6 words that you should avoid in any kind of message that you put out. These words are good, bad, positive, negative, right. Hi, I'm a career journalist. I've been writing for last 30 years. My name is Ruhi, and I'll tell you why these words are the immediate trust breakers and they kill your story no matter what kind of message you're putting out. They're bound to alienate the audience from your message. Now, why are these 6 words the biggest mistake that you can make in your storytelling? So, storytelling, essentially any kind of communication, written communication, comes historically from religion. Now, people have intense feelings about religion, but fundamentally, what religious storytelling has done to the world, deep into the core of their being, is there is this question that what is the moral of this story? Because it's trying to preach something. It's trying to tell someone, do this, don't do this. This is good, this is bad. This is positive, this is negative, this is right, that is wrong. And there's an extreme rebellion intellectually, emotionally, that has happened in the minds of audiences. Nobody wants anyone to tell them what they should do or what is right, what is wrong, what is positive, what is negative, what is morally correct, and what is not. So sometimes, like along with these 6 words, there's a 7th word that's again extremely alienating, that is should. So you'll see people who end up alienating their audiences are the people who are using these words. They're trying to not tell a story. What they're trying to do is they're trying to win you over, they're trying to sell you a way of life, and they're trying to preach something to you that they may or may not practice, and they're trying to make decisions for you. And almost every audience category, demographic that you can imagine, women, men, any country, any age, does not like that. Nobody likes it. The reason why storytelling is an up and coming career now is because people think of stories as something that's not authoritative communication, that's telling someone what to do. It's actually completely opposite. It's like in a very trusting, warm home, a parent is sitting right next to the child and they're reading a story to the kid. Yes, there is some moral, there's that piece of vegetable that's somewhere inside that cheese, but that's not explicitly said. When you say that this is good and that is bad, this is right and that is wrong, the other person thinks that this person is some sort of sermon giving preacher and there is some sort of propaganda or there is some hidden meaning or there is something that they're hiding, and the trust deficit is extremely high in the world because almost everyone is skeptical. No one really knows what you're trying to sell, what do you want, what kind of thing are you going to ask for. Even if it's a corporate, it's advertising, it's any kind of political campaign, it's religious something. Most institutions have lost their trust because they have tried to take a moral stance. They've not really noticed the details. They've gone into the duality. Duality does not lead to views, to an emotional connection with the audiences. As soon as you preach, you've lost the audience. Now here is the audience and here is you, the storyteller. Instead of labeling something right, wrong, good, bad, positive, negative, how about you describe it? You go into the adjectives that define it. You go into details, you go into scenes, you go into memories, you go into effects, you go into impacts, you go into the causal relationship. You try to actually build a narrative with a lot of details that's building trust, that's truthful, that's transparent, and that's not preachy at all. So the things to focus on are the 3 T's: truth, transparency, and trust building. And the P's that you want to let go of is the preachiness. The one P that leads to all the distrust and skepticism. Gen Z, especially, all the research is suggesting they really won't take bullshit from anyone. So you don't want to give them bullshit. And they are your consumers, they are your talent, they are the people working with you, they are the leaders of tomorrow, even millennials. No one anywhere in the world want anyone to tell them what the right thing is. So you hold these back. Now what do? You do believe that something is good. You do believe that something is positive. You do believe that something is wrong. Instead of saying it, you create a story that makes the audience come to the conclusion that yes, this sounds right. Now you're putting in the work. Here is the audience, here is the storyteller. You actually went through the bridge, you put in the work in your story, you gave a lot of facts and figures and scenes, you empathized with the audience, you saw the world from their perspective, and within that bridge, the storyteller and the audience met and they built a trustworthy relationship. And all of it happened without any kind of preaching whatsoever, any kind of labeling. It was built on something completely different, and that is an E, that's empathy. The ability to see the world from the perspective of your audience, the ability to see the nuance, the details, the intricacies, the challenges. You're actually stepping into the shoes of your audience and you're seeing the world from their perspective. Another thing to remember is context. What is their context? So something that must have been good or positive or right for a certain generation at a certain time, in a certain scenario, in a certain context, is not probably right for this audience anymore. They are seeing the world differently. So instead of doing us and them and us preaching at them and shouting into the void and not building trust, instead you step into the shoes, you see the context, you empathize, you bring in their perspective into the story, and you meet somewhere in the middle. So instead of completely alienating your audience by using the 6 words that I spoke about, you could actually meet them in the middle by doing the exact opposite. And you could avoid all duality and labels. And this story will be authentic. This story will be clear. This story will be connected. This story will resonate. This story will get the clicks and the views and the community quality, the trust quality, the connection quality that anyone who has any kind of a purpose is building anything actually needs. Also, it needs you to stop judging the world. It needs you to stop looking at the world from a dual perspective. It needs you to really see your audience, and it needs you to really see where you're coming from. It's an act of awareness. You become more aware of what your preconceived notions are, what your biases are, what your beliefs are, what your experiences are. And you see the beliefs, the experiences, the biases, the skepticism of your audience. And when you see and you become aware of it, when you're truly aware of your audience and you're truly working on becoming aware of yourself, then you create a story that transcends duality, that builds trust, that immediately is able to get attention, that's something that someone would want to share, that is something that someone would repeat. Because it did not stay in the confines of specific labels. It went out of like old school morality to genuine empathy, to connection, and we've been in the middle of a loneliness epidemic for the world for a very long time. What you do in this way is you actually fight loneliness head on. You create communities. Thank you.